Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Gabriel, coming straight at you from Queens, New York, and this is part 2 of taking the political compass test. Let's jump right into it. This is page 3 of 6. Now, a look at some of your personal social values. Oh, wait. I might have already done page 3 of 6. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Okay. Abortion, when the woman's life is not threatened, should always be illegal. Yes, I am going to agree with this statement. Abortion, if it's not going to kill the mom, should be illegal. There's no reason to kill the baby if the baby's not going to kill you. You know, this is how we treat life every single day. You know, like I can't walk up to the in any random stranger and just murder them because they're inconvenient to me. You know, like walking down the stairs, there's an old lady in front of me. She's inconvenient to me. I'm not gonna kill her because of it. Same thing should be applied to unborn babies. Just because they're inconvenient doesn't mean you get to get rid of them. All authority should be questioned. Yes, of course. Always question the authority because you need to know that they're not corrupt. The only way to know somebody is by allowing them to speak. How do you allow someone to speak? By asking them questions. All right? Canceling somebody, silencing somebody, these things don't get rid of them. And they don't help you either. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth leaves the whole world deaf, dumb, and blind. This is a terrible policy. Okay. Taxpayers should not be expected to prop up any theaters or museums that cannot survive on a commercial basis. I'm not going to strongly disagree with this, but I'm going to slightly disagree with it because we're talking about taxes here, and taxes fundamentally is a bad thing. Like I said before in the earlier video, we need to hard body taxes, but there are historical type of theaters and museums. I mean museums, the whole point of museums is to protect and preserve our culture and our history. So we should all be pitching in to keep these things from deteriorating and to protect these things. You know, it's like it's a sad day when there are people in the streets tearing down statues, acting as if they've done something good. Terrible. No, but yeah, no. Taxpayers should not be expected to prop up. No, taxpayers should be expected. Yes, of course. Yeah, they should be. It's not strong because then you're gonna like, oh, too much taxes. Yes, too much taxes right now. Yes, I agree with too much taxes. It's too much. We should limit it. But even of the less amount of taxes that I think we should be giving, some of that should still go towards preserving our museums and stuff like that. Schools should not make classroom attendance compulsory. Compulsory means mandatory, basically. So schools should not make classroom attendance mandatory. Then what's the point of the school? All right. I mean, you can argue that schools, the school system now is broken and is messed up, and I would agree with you. So we need to like reevaluate everything. But as of right now, I'm going to disagree with this. This attendance should be mandatory. There's no other way to, you know, to make sure the kids are going. What the hell? All people have their rights, but it is better for all of us that different sorts of people should keep to their own kind. Whoa! What the frick? No! This is literally what BLM and the KKK both agree on. right? Black Lives Matter and the KKK both think that it will be better for all of us if different people keep to their own kind. Identitarians, communists, they're all racists. It's nasty. Good parents sometimes have to spank their children. Yes, of course. Of course. I'm not going to go into that. It's natural for children to keep some secrets from their parents. Of course. Super of course, actually. Listen, kids gonna try to have their secrets. They're not always gonna be successful, but they're gonna think that they're successful, and that's okay. You don't need to always be blowing up the spot as their parent. You know, sometimes it's okay to know what your kid is doing and let them think that you don't know that you know what they're doing. It's a dance. All right, parenting is a dance. You gotta, I have a 7-year-old and a 2-year-old. It's like you gotta ebb and flow. You gotta read the situation. You gotta be very on your toes with kids. Possessing marijuana for personal use should not be a criminal offense. I do not smoke marijuana. Never have, never will. I find it to be disgusting. However, I completely agree with this statement. Yes, it shouldn't be criminal. Marijuana should be under the same rules and regulations that alcohol is under. And I believe that the drinking age is too low. Alcohol drinking age should be raised to 25. Joining the military should be raised to 25. This whole 18-year-old shit, too early. 25-year-old, 21-year-old shit, too early. 25. But marijuana is the same as alcohol. So, in terms of like the effects it has, well, not exactly the same, but it should have the same regulations because it's that type of substance. The prime function of schooling should be to equip the future generation to find jobs. The prime function, yeah. That's not bad. That wouldn't be a bad function of schooling. Is it what it's doing today? No. Schools are not teaching kids how to find jobs. Colleges are not teaching kids how to find jobs. Universities and schools are teaching kids how to be activists. It's not a job. It's a fucking pastime, and it's a bad one at that. People with serious inheritable disabilities should not be allowed to reproduce. If they find somebody that they love and that will love them and that wants to have kids with them, then God bless them. All right, I'm going to strongly disagree with this. We do not need to instill some type of governmental eugenics program. All right, this is literally what the Nazis were trying to do. It's like, listen, if you want to do, if you can find somebody that want to do you like that, then go ahead. It's not. You want to have those? I don't care. The most important thing for children to learn is to accept discipline. Ooh. It is one of the most important things. It is not the only important thing, but I do agree, yes. Accepting discipline. Anybody has potential. But masters in their chosen trade have potential plus discipline, meaning they're able to take what can be and through meticulous and tedious working at it, that's what discipline is. They're able to turn that nebulous potential into a concrete thing that is amazing. We see this with athletes and musicians, all types of amazing people. There are no savage and civilized peoples. There are only different cultures. I have to agree. I'm not going to strongly agree. And I kind of want to disagree with this. This is the one that I would go straight down the middle if I could. Because some people, like, I don't have a problem calling ISIS savages. They're out here putting people in cages and lighting them on fire, beheading. Like, no, man. No. But when they're framing it in the term of cultures, it's like, yeah, most like I said before in one of the previous questions that I was talking about superior qualities in your race. Same thing with cultures. It's not necessarily superior or inferior, but superior and inferior aren't synonymous with savage and civilized either. It's different things, but fundamentally cultures are just different. There isn't one that's better than the other, and I feel like that's what they're trying to say with this question. Those who are able to work and refuse the opportunity should not expect society's support. Of course, you want to be a drifter, a freeloader? Fuck you. I'm sorry. No, you contribute something, or try to at least. Don't just expect handouts. That doesn't make you better. That doesn't make anybody else better. Earn your way. Earn your weight. That's all. When you are troubled, it's better not to think about it, but to keep busy with more cheerful things. Yes. Yeah, you don't want to dwell. Dwelling is not good. I'm only going to slightly agree with this because you do have to confront the things that are troubling you, but you also cannot let them consume you, right? You have to find that balance, right? Because if you ignore it, it'll come back to bite you in the ass. So confront things, don't dwell on them. It's a difference. First generation immigrants can never be fully integrated within their new country. This is completely false. This is completely dependent on the person. Completely dependent on the person. All right, there are plenty of examples where first generation immigrants are. Let's take the United States for example. There are plenty of first generation immigrants who are more patriotic and fully integrated in the United States than red-blooded born Americans. All right, just that. I consider myself one of them. Just leave it at that. What's good for the most successful corporations is always ultimately good for all of us. See, they have this little word there that says always. Always is what makes me disagree with the statement. If it says sometimes, I would agree, but it says always, not always. So I have to disagree. I'm not going to strongly disagree because it also has ultimately. All right, which means that a lot of things that will benefit a big company can eventually trickle and be good for the people, right? Because, for example, if Amazon wants to open up a new headquarters in Queens, New York, that would be good for the people. It would also be good for Amazon. It would initially obviously be better for Amazon, but we would feel the effects. We would have more tax money. We would have more jobs. We would have more of everything in Queens if that were to happen. Wink, wink. No broadcasting institution, however independent its content, should receive public funding. Ooh. Talking about public funding. See, I don't know what they mean by public funding. Do they mean taxes or do they mean donations? I feel like they mean taxes. And if they mean taxes, I would have to agree. I'm going to slightly agree because I don't know if they mean taxes or if they mean donations. I don't care about. Anybody is free to donate to whatever company they want to donate to, right? Including broadcasting institutions. But we're talking about taxes. No, yeah, no. CNN and Fox and all these places, they shouldn't be. It shouldn't be up to my tax money for them to stay afloat. You know, if they're doing a good job, they will get viewership. If they get a lot of viewership, they're able to sell ads. If they're able to sell ads, they're able to keep themselves afloat. All right, it should be a meritocracy. Moving on. And how you see the wider society. Our civil liberties are being excessively curbed in the name of counter-terrorism. They were, but they're not anymore. I'm gonna state there still are, just because it's not a conspiracy theory. It's just more of like, yeah, you know, the whole government is always looking at, you know, spying on you and shit. I kind of feel like there's some truth to that. So I am going to say that I'm gonna slightly agree with that. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna slightly agree with that. The government has too much power. Plain as that. I mean, counterterrorism is a good thing. Don't get me wrong, but we need to always be vigilant of what the government is doing in the name of the greater good. A significant advantage of a one-party state is that it avoids all the arguments that delay progress in a democratic political system. Yeah, no shit. No shit. Yeah, because you have a dictator freaking they act like that's it's like a significant advantage. It's not. See, that's the thing. Now, it's not an advantage. It's a truth. It is true that a one-party state avoids the arguments. But it's not an advantage. That just made me switch to disagree. The phrasing is wrong. It's a difference. It's a truth. It's not an advantage, though. Like the arguments that delay progress, these arguments are crucial. They're necessary even. Although the electronic age makes official surveillance easier, only wrongdoers need to be worried. Strongly disagree. Everybody needs to be worried because everybody is being watched. Alright, this is all about government power. You don't want to give too much power to Big Brother to be watching you. You gotta stay. Like, value your privacy, man. Damn. The death penalty should be an option for the most serious crimes. The death penalty should not be an option for any crime. The death penalty, again, gives way too much power to the state. Do you really think that it's a good idea to give the power of life and death to a political leader? Think about it. Do you want your current political leaders to have the power of life and death over the inmate population? No, you don't. Not unless you're a sociopath. In a civilized society, one must always have people above to be obeyed and people below to be commanded. Disagree. This again. They phrase it as if it's a choice. This isn't a matter of it is not a product of civilized society to have people to be obeyed and people to be commanded. That isn't something that happens because of society. That is innate. That is innate in nature. You see that in crabs, for God's sakes. You see that in chickens. This isn't a human thing. This is a natural product of evolution. It's not a product of civilized society. Frick, man. Swallow. Spit the wrong way. Abstract art that doesn't represent anything shouldn't be considered art at all. Defeats the purpose of art. Just because it's abstract doesn't mean it's not art. Art is supposed to invoke a feeling, a reaction, positive or negative. Doesn't matter as long as it's invoking something. That's what makes art art. Not if it represents something. In criminal justice, punishment should be more important than rehabilitation. Strongly disagree. It should be the other way around. In criminal justice, why we're talking about justice here, right? Rehabilitation should be the goal, not simple punishment. Simple punishments they're not corrective. Okay? It is a waste of time to try to rehabilitate some criminals. I mean, they add that word "some" in there. Of course, that's going to be true. I'm not going to say it. It's not. Oh, it's because some. Yeah, anything is true sometimes. Right? Anything is true sometimes. Right? So yeah, that has to be true because it says some. Yeah, of course, sometimes it's going to be a waste of time. Not all the time. That doesn't mean you shouldn't try either. You should still try. You should always try because you don't know which criminals are those some criminals. You know, so you have to try to rehabilitate every single criminal. The business person and the manufacturer are more important than the writer and the artist. I'm going to strongly disagree with this. Just like I would strongly disagree if it had the other way around. If it said that the writer and artist are more important than the business person and manufacturer, I would strongly disagree. They're all part of a society, and they're all like especially these four. They're all needed. Mothers may have careers, but their first duty is to be homemakers. Yeah. Overall, yeah. You know? And most women actually prefer it that way too. It's a minority of women who don't like being homemakers. Not a majority. I mean, just read it. Just read any women's magazine. You know, that talks about motherhood. You know, especially the ones that are directed at moms. It's all about the family. It's all about the family. That's the only thing that matters. And it's more important to women than it is to men. Family is so important. And that's what a homemaker is. A homemaker is a person that raises their family. So yeah. You know, that's the same is true for fathers. Fathers may have careers, but their first duty is to be homemakers as well. There's nothing more important to me than my kids. Point blank. That makes me a homemaker. And I'm perfectly fine with that. It's not always true. There are people out there that are so career driven, you know, that they put their job and their school ahead of their family. That happens. You know, so that's why I only gave it an agree, not a strongly agree. Multinational companies are unethically exploiting the planet genetic resources of multinational companies are unethically exploiting the plant genetic resources of developing countries. Plant genetic resources, so literally like trees, coal and shit like that. I would have to see the citation, please. Right? I'm gonna disagree with this because that's just a claim. I'm not just gonna believe you. You know, who's to say like, right? And it's unethically. What about if the country is telling the company to come and make the plants at their, you know, and they're giving tax breaks and shit like that? No. Making peace with the establishment is an important aspect of maturity. Yeah, make your peace with the rule of law. When you're young, you're very liberal. When you're older, you tend to be more conservative. That's just the natural progression of people in general. You know, more. It's just, yeah, making peace with the establishment. This is what it is. Moving on. Page 5 of 6. Jesus, this is long. Okay. If you got through that okay, you'll find these propositions on religion a breeze. Yeah, sure, a breeze. Astrology accurately explains many things. Astrology accurately explains nothing. Nothing at all. I don't care that you're a Scorpio. I don't care. It doesn't mean anything. You cannot be moral without being religion. Ooh, no, this is fundamentally not true. There is a strong argument to be made for the case that religion can be used to more easily teach morality, but you can be moral without being religious, because religion comes from people, you know. So religion is a tool to teach morality, right? So if you use the same teaching methods, just remove all of the religious elements out of it, it'll still be the same tools. So that's why I'm gonna disagree with that. Charity is better than social security as a means of helping the genuinely disadvantaged. Yes, charity is better. Yeah, I'm gonna actually strongly agree with this. It is much better because it's much harder to game charity than it is to game social security. I mean, this is literally just the difference between relying on your neighborhood versus relying on the government, right? Charity is other people. Social security is the government. Which one would be better at helping the genuinely disadvantaged? It's always going to be the neighborhood. Always. Some people are naturally unlucky. This is just so true. Yes, some people are naturally unlucky. It just happens, right? Not to say that there's nothing people can do about it, right? But there are some people who just get cut off at the knees over and over again, and it sucks. You know, that doesn't mean that they get to sit there and complain about it, though. They got to figure out a way to get back up and try again. All right? You don't get to be a victim, even if you are there through no fault of your own, because chances are you're not there through no fault of your own, first of all. Right? You got to figure out why it is that all these bad things are happening to you, and in which ways you're contributing to your own misery, right? And then once you figure that out, then you need to stop doing that. Then after you do that, then you can complain that you've done everything that you've done to try to make yourself better. Until then, shut up and get to work. It is important that my child's school instills religious values. No, it is not important. No. Religious values should be the duty of the family and the home. The school's primary function should be societal participation, right? Jobs. That should be the function of the school. It's like, how can we make this person earn money and live in our society? That should be the function of the school. Religious, that should be a home thing. All right? Religion has no place in government institutions at all. You know, if you want to send your kid to a religious school, then that's a different thing. But schools, generally speaking, like public schools, it's not a place for religion. All right. Oh, this is the last the last page here. Finally. Jesus, how long is this video? Oh, this is already a 30-minute video. Jesus. Okay. We are going to take a break. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back with part 3 of taking the political compass, where we will have the final page of the test along with my results. So, thanks for watching, and that's all.